talking about creating a task force to study reparations in Chicago. So shout out to all you guys up in the space tonight. I definitely look forward to hearing from you guys. What's going on? I hope everybody had a safe and happy Father's Day to all my fathers up in the space as well, too, guys. And yes, we're going to be discussing Mayor Brandon Johnson. We know Mayor Brandon Johnson has been doing his best to go ahead and to engage and to do things for the actual illegal immigrants in Chicago. And I guess he's kind of feeling a little pinch right now. He's feeling a little pinch about everything that's going on. So he decided to go ahead and play the reparations playbook. And I posted an article early today, and you guys, it's up in the Jumbotron on the far right-hand side. You guys can go ahead and retweet it. If you haven't read it, go ahead and read it out. It is very interesting. I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be discussing that article at night as well, too. Shout out to my man Original up in here as well. Shout out to Original. Shout out to Jess Cakes. I see up in here. Joy, Sylvia, Fresh. I see a bunch of you guys up in here. Black Idaho, Buckshot. So shout out to all you guys. For all my people that's in the actual X space, go ahead and retweet this out. Retweet it out. Let everybody know that we're live. For all my people over there on YouTube, guys, definitely go ahead, click the notification bell. Click the notification bell. Like, share, do all that good stuff. Leave a comment. So shout out to all you guys coming up in here. We got an interesting article. I actually changed the actual space podcast tonight. I was actually going to do the Trump one. I'll do that tomorrow. But I saw this come down the actual news wire, and I saw Brandon Johnson. I know a lot of you guys aren't the biggest fans of Brandon Johnson, but I figured I said, hey, we got to go ahead. We got to touch up on this thing tonight as well. So, and Grimes, I saw you earlier with the article as well too. So shout out to everybody up in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna touch up on it real quick as people are coming up in here. What's up, Professor? What's going on, Original? What's up with you guys? How y'all doing before I go ahead and get started? Y'all, you straight? I hope y'all had a good Father's Day.
We did good. Yeah, man. It was a good Father's Day, man. Glad to see them play. Yes, indeed.
Yes, it was a nice Father's Day. I will say that. I was, we had 3 generations of men in my family. We was all out to dinner and stuff. My dad, me, the boys, and it was pretty nice. So, very, very nice, very nice Father's Day that we had. So shout out to all of the fathers out there. Shout out to all the Black fathers. I know you don't get your due, and people always want to knock you and stuff like that, but it's been proven time and time again that Black fathers are the best fathers in the world. So let me go ahead real quick and touch up on this article, guys. This is from our curation partner, the Neo Jim Crow. It says Mayor Brandon Johnson launches task force on reparations for Black Chicagoans. Mayor Brandon Johnson launched a task force Monday to examine implementing a reparations program for Black Chicagoans, he announced while casting the move as a latest step in his administration's agenda focused on racial justice. Hadn't shown a whole lot of racial justice focused on Black people, but okay. Under Johnson's new executive order, the commission will conduct with the examination of all policies that have harmed Black Chicagoans from slavery era to present day and make a series of recommendations that will serve as appropriate remedies. According to a statement from the mayor's office, the announcement came after Johnson earmarked $500,000 in the 2024 budget towards studying the issue. Like, it's always a studying stuff when it comes down to this reparation. Today's executive order is not just a public declaration, it is a pledge to shape the future of our city by confronting a legacy of inequality that has plagued Chicago for far too long, Johnson said in the statement. In partnership with Chicago City Council, Black Caucus, and our dedicated allies, we're continuing to build on the bedrock of my administration to move forward in reconciliation through targeted investments aimed at rectifying decades of deliberate disinvestment in Black neighborhoods and communities. Specific areas of harm toward Black Chicagoans that announcement listed include housing, health, education, mass incarceration, policing, and more. In a statement, Johnson nodded to the upcoming Juneteenth holiday and said, the moment to act on rectifying the legacy of chattel slavery and Jim Crow laws is now, noting that Black Chicagoans are still suffering disparities in life expectancy, unemployment, and more. Black Caucus Chair Alderman Stephanie Coleman, 16th, applauded the move, saying she was proud that they were taking concrete action rather than just engaging in discourse. Today is a major step forward, and I'm thankful to Johnson administration for its continued support and commitment to addressing the deep wounds inflicted by centuries of injustice against the Black community. Coleman said in the statement, "We will not be ashamed of who we are and what we have overcome. Exploring reparations program to undo the harms of slavery and segregation has been an idea floated across American cities, particularly in the wake of the 2020 racial justice uprisings over the police murder of George Floyd. North suburban Everson has made some of the biggest strides in that vein, kicking off a program that provides 25,000 payments for Black Everstonians affected by racial housing policies put in place by the city, though a conservative group last month filed a lawsuit accusing the initiative of being unconstitutional." Also, Monday, Johnson announced Carla Coop as his chief equity officer during the city's Juneteenth flag raising and Daily Plaza. Coop, who served as the city's first diversity and inclusion officer at the office of the Inspector General, was set to be the mayor's final cabinet appointment though Johnson now has another vacancy in wake of last week's announcement of the retirement of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Commissioner Kenneth Meyer. So shout out to everybody up in the space tonight, guys. Definitely go ahead, retweet it out. I got my girl Jess Cakes up here, and she is from the Shy as well too. So Jess Cakes, please go ahead and enlighten us on how you feel about this topic tonight.
So I went to one of those. They already have a commission for reparations in Chicago. So 1 second, I'm sorry.
No problem. She does have the little one. So we'll give her a second. Original, I know you just go ahead, Jess Cakes.
So they have a commission already for slavery in Chicago already. I know because I've been there. And what it is I want to touch on a few things that you spoke about. First of all, it's already a commission. When you go to those meetings and stuff like that, there's a big old nothing burger to be expected. What they pretty much do there is all lives or all Black lives. They want to include the Africans, the over in Africa and everything else. His dad is going to come get them, so don't worry about them, y'all. But at any rate, Everston as well. There was a lady who actually won because they treat it like a lottery. She won one of the reparations and stuff like that. She was like, she felt it was a Caribbean woman. She said she felt like it was unfair to even get that because she did nothing to earn it, and she didn't understand why. And what it was some type of voucher to improve her house. And I think it was like maybe like $25,000. It wasn't even really serious money. But
now this was in Chicago, or this was in Evanston with the 25,000.
Everston, that big old crapshoot too. For one, it wasn't thoroughly fleshed out. They just threw it together, and anybody could get it who's Black. So of course you asking for problems. Like I said, the Caribbean woman that got it, she said she don't even know how she got it, and that she used it. It could be used towards your house. You know, remodeling your house, or updating your house and stuff like that. But if you live in Everston, what if you live in an apartment? Then what? So. Pretty much it's more of the same, which is nothing, mixed in with a little bit more of nothing and a whole lot more of nothing. So Brandon Johnson is just want to be able to say that he did something to kind of calm us down before August, the DNC National Convention.
Yes, ma'am. And I also I know a lot of people are upset too when they saw the actual picture and they saw the actual they saw the actual, I guess, the colors that wasn't really that wasn't the actual Juneteenth colors as well too. So it wasn't reparation colors. It was the RBG type flag and everything else. So you had quite a few people that was upset about that when they saw that as well too. And they said, okay, well now you're trying to make this into reparations for Pan Africans. So I saw quite a few people that were responding to the actual photo on the actual article, and they weren't happy campers about the actual photo as well too. Grimes, go ahead. You got it. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, brother Newstoter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody. To answer the point of the sister who was just speaking, that 25 bands was like for housing fixtures, like roof and stuff in Evanston. Now I had gone to a few of these meetings. I haven't.
Hey, Grimes, do you have a headset on anything?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Let me take this off.
Okay.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you much better. Go ahead.
Okay, my apologies for that. So yeah, that $25,000 vouchers. That thing was in Evanston. Now I'm in Chicago. I'm going to reference the thing with Evanston again in a minute because somebody said something interesting to me about that as far as how I should view that whole thing because it was nothing burger. So I've gone to a few of those meetings. I haven't been to all of them, and they just kind of like send them by email. I don't think anybody checks the email that regularly, especially if you get like a lot of them regular daily. Um, so right before the expo, the FBA expo last year, let's say it was like just that Wednesday right before, I went to one at Malcolm X College. Afro Elite was there as well. In fact, he was at one of the meetings before then. So he's documenting stuff. What the sister said was true about the trying to put the diaspora on there, and what I said earlier about I call him Scam Howard because I feel like he's just trying to grift off of the committee money and not really work towards us getting reparations. Or if he does, if he is successful, of course they're trying to get the diaspora on instead of just being for Black Americans. And with him being Caribbean, typically what tends to happen is that the Caribbeans are looking out for themselves and trying to see how they can get onto our claim. So what he did, and when I'm finished, I'm gonna go find the pictures that I took at the meeting at Malcolm X College last year, and I put it in the jumbotron on the comments. But the literature, the language that was used was for enslaved Africans, and several of us have called him out on it. He did was Pan-African babble and say, well, we all been affected, so we all need to get reparations. But several of us have said, listen, you all have special interest groups dedicated to Africans and Caribbeans. You have CARICOM, you have Narcan and Cobra, you have all these other groups that focus on their own group of people. So why is it that you're trying to, get all of them on our claim? And that space that Ms. Giselle had a few months ago, where Marcel was having a debate with Camp Howard, and he asked him, do you believe in lineage-based or race-based? And he said, I believe in all of them, lineage-based, race-based, and harms-based. And further in that conversation, they identified the fact that those special interest groups for Africans and Caribbeans, when it comes to their claims, they're not even thinking about Black Americans. So it's a one-sided thing, and that's why I'm like, okay, that's why I call them scam. I'm like, okay, you're just trying to grift. You're not really even thinking about us. What you're trying to say, you grift off of us. So, I called them out at that meeting at Malcolm X College last year. Other people have, because everybody's like, listen, we need something strictly for Black Americans or FBA or whatever. It needs to be more specific to us. And he just continued to explain why we need to, have it for everybody. So, so whatever they're trying to push, with Brandon Johnson or whatever, of course, these people are trying to grift. They're trying to see how they could, try to scam off of it. I'm also going to post a flyer that was being distributed online as far as that first meeting that was had at a former movie theater lobby, I want to say a month or two before that meeting at Malcolm X College. The flyer had Brandon Johnson's name on there in this picture, and it said within the first 100 days of his election, for him being in office or whatever, that they were going to be focusing on getting us reparations. And on there, they listed different things like contracts for jobs or whatever, a few other things. He talked about the 5 pillars or whatever. But the amount that they were talking about was $700, and Lord knows how long that they're going to try to work that out. As far as the monthly payments, that could be limited to a few years. Like, that's not real reparations. And at the time that you're talking about $700 for us, you're giving these illegal 7 bands. Like, that's not fair. And as far as and we asked specifically. I'm gonna land in a bit. The first meeting that we had was ran by a lady named Patrice Boyce, who is an activist from the west side of Chicago. She ran for alderman in her ward a few times and didn't make it, unfortunately. But her position in Cam Howard's Chicago commission team or whatever is vice president. I like her. I've known of her for years. She knows some activist people that I've known for years. So I've always had that respect for her. Afro and I, another person asked us to make, she told us yes, and we were excited. And what I said was, yeah, I'm glad that you're doing this, because what happened in Evanston was a slap in the face. That's only like a housing voucher. That's not, we're all more than that for, descendants of, the enslaved. And she's like, well, you should see this as something to build upon what's already been given. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. I guess that's one way of seeing it. But I still feel like it's a slap in the face, because the government knows that we're owed more. And when you know that all these corporations have benefited from it, these white supremacist ran organizations, $25K ain't gonna cut it. These people got billions of dollars of wealth off of it that they're able to pass down to their descendants. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that information. I'm gonna go ahead and post that information I said I was gonna post.
All right, appreciate that, Grinds. Just Cakes, I'm gonna get to you. Let me get to new speaker. Let me get the show and I am. Let me get to them, and then I'll get to you, Just Cakes. Show am I? Are you there?
I am my ancestors. What's up? Peace to the family. Chicago, South Side, low end, whole life. Grinds. We were probably at a couple of St. Beats, man. Cam been trying to get his reparations organization off the ground, and he's been really lobbying the city to do something for blacks. And the issue is that it's a flat black, campaign. So we really got to keep an eye on Cam, and really got to keep our foot on him, because he has an ear in the mayor's office. And I realized that when the mayor released his proposal for the budget for the reparations commission, and he started talking some of the same jargon that Cam used about giving, I want to say $500 or maybe it was $700 to anybody who's black that just came out of jail. So this is Cam's position, and for some reason it made it to Brandon Johnson's budget proposal. So we definitely got to do some work on Cam and keep an eye on him. His organization is called reparationsnow.org, and he just launched something else like Earn the Vote or something like that. So earnthevote.net, I believe. So we really got to keep an eye on Cam, because he's practicing flat blackness, and he's going to usher in our reparations for everybody. I was on his I was on his website a couple months ago, and he was looking for commissioners to do reparations work. And this is after Brandon Johnson had announced that he was putting this in the budget. Why is Cam Johnson looking for commissioners? Now, why Chicago should be looking for commissioners for the reparation? Why Cam Johnson is looking for commissioners? Because Cam Johnson wants to do the screening and put who he want on the reparations committee for Chicago. That's what it appeared to be to me. So even though we putting our foot on Brandon Johnson, for those who don't know, it's a campaign in Chicago to recall them. The Black American tribe have been now gathering signatures, not just to get Brandon Johnson out of there, but at least put some foot to fire to his feet, to say you need to be officers in these services to the Black Americans who descended from U.S. chattel slavery. So I put an invite in the message in the comments for anybody who want to link in with the Black American tribe and start doing some work to really push for our reparations. But that's one thing we're trying to do, is Brandon Johnson's recall, so we can get him back to the table and start making, definitely make some demands and start getting some tangibles. And with that, I'll just land. I don't want to take up too much time.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming up here tonight. So we got DJ up in here as well, too. So shout out to DJ and some of our people in the actual space tonight. Let me go ahead and get back to Just Cakes. Just Cakes, you got it.
I just wanted to touch up on one last thing, but before I do that, Sean, can you put out the information where we can sign the petition? Because I want to make sure to get that information out to as many people as possible, as far as signing the petition to recall Brandon Johnston and actually trying to get him to do what he was supposed to do in the first place, which is take care of his people. But another thing that stuck out to me when I went to that commission, those all they doing is giving black people a fancy title, such as like commissioner and stuff like that. The people that's supervising, you still got the non-black supervisors. When I did go to the what was that thing? The reparations council meeting? No, it wasn't. What was it? The task force. I went to the reparations task force. The one I went to, it wasn't at Malcolm X. The one I went to was downtown in the federal building. And like it's crazy. Like as soon as I left up out of the commission, well, what they were told in the task force, as soon as you walk out, it's literally a section of the building that say Department of Human Resources for Latinos. And when I get a chance, I'll inbox you that photo, Newstoter. But like I say, it's black people with fancy titles, with white people and non-black people supervising them to make sure that they don't really try to make no headway. So as we already know, it's a big old nothing burger. And I'll end it there. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Just Cakes. I'm trying to think. We've done at least 2-3 spaces on Brandon Johnson. We know when Brandon Johnson first came in, and Nightfall says that with all the Sambo buck dancing Brandon Johnson did last year for illegal immigrants, we already know he capes for his name is mud in our community. Like everything that he was talking about leading up about what he was going to do and stuff like that, everything that he mentioned was always for the actual illegal immigrants. So I just find it funny that now that all of a sudden with election time, would it be in a presidential election year, that now Chicago, or at least that he's talking about trying to go ahead and get a reparations commission, everything, launching that and getting everything going. Before, when he wasn't talking about it, all he was talking about was how he could do this for Latinos and this for illegals and that for illegals and everything else. And now all of a sudden, you know, because I know a lot of people have been really critical of his first term as the mayor of Chicago. A lot of people think he's going to be a one-term mayor, just like Lori Lightfoot. Now he's sitting up here and he's talking about reparations, when before he was as quiet as can be kept. So all of a sudden now we hear this reparation thing and this and that or whatever. And as everybody says, and they mentioned it on YouTube as well, we got to go with the whole study thing, the study. America prides itself in being one of the greatest history keepers in the world. So America doesn't need to do any studies or any other meet and greets, anything. They know exactly what happened during Jim Crow, what happened exactly during slavery. So all this stuff right here is really just a way of trying to push it away. And I think Johnson and some of these Democrats are just trying to use this as a way, because like I said, it's election season time. They don't mean it. They don't really want to get black people reparations, but they think that that's gonna sway black voters and that's gonna keep their attention, and that way they can win. But they're really not really serious about the reparations in a lot of these cities, because if they were, they would have been championing it. Grimes, go ahead, you got it.
I appreciate it. To answer that, this is the thing: when the first round of buses hit Chicago, the illegals, south side, like the South Shore area, Woodlawn, they pushed back, and they had meetings either that night or that next day. Had a press conference saying, "Build the wall, Trump 2024." That's how people begin to see, the illegal problem. The problem with the illegals coming in. People was like, "Nah, we not taking it." And then I heard something about them trying to house them on the west side of Chicago. And the west side is pushed back. They like, listen, you're not finna take the very few resources that we have and give to these people that's not even from here. I brought that up to basically say this. One of the things that really ticked me off about Brandon Johnson regarding that is because he's seeing this pushback. You know, of course, he's the Sambo that's just supposed to sway everybody, make sure everybody keeps quiet, you know, so that he can be pleasing to his paymasters. He was on the news one time saying, I understand the concern about these migrants, but I'm trying to keep people off the floor. And I'm like, dude, you're trying to keep people off the floor like these illegals? But there's black people who are already from here that are on the ground and been sleeping on the ground for years, sleeping in the grass, sleeping at bus stations, train stations, all of that. Y'all made all kind of way for these people. I'm talking about in the millions monthly. So what are you talking about? You're trying to keep people off the floor when there's people already here that's been on the ground.
Real talk. Thank you. Just Case, I just saw that photo that you sent. We got Original up here, Professor up here, DJ up here. I know one of you guys want to go ahead and say something. Let me go ahead and get back to our show, and then I'll get to one of our other hosts to speaker. Go ahead, show.
I just wanted to, the sister asked for the information on the recall. I just put it down there. It's called Recall for the Fall or something like that. You can link on with that. But again, the Black American Tribe is linking up. We're trying to get signatures. We've been moving locations throughout the South Side, really working with our people, trying to get signatures to get Brandon Johnson recalled. Again, he don't necessarily have to leave office for us to get what we want, but we need at least to get him to the table. And we think that recalling him will at least get him to the table to actually give tangibles to the Black American community. It's ridiculous how we have to fight to get contracting for people who descended the U.S. as slaves with the city of Chicago. Our kids are not necessarily getting funded for schools, park districts, community college, things of that nature. It's real challenging up here in Chicago, and they're really trying to leave us behind. So the more we get kind of working on this and stomping on this, I think the better off that we'll be. It's 2024. It's time for us to link up, come together, and like Marcel said at the rally, I got to give that brother's props. Either we're going to fight this fight or we're going to leave it for our kids to fight this fight. And with that, I'll land.
All right. Appreciate that, show. Thank you. Shout out to all you guys coming up in the space. Definitely go ahead and retweet out the space. Original, I got you up here. I got Professor up here, DJ. Anybody, one of you guys want to speak?
Yeah, I'll say something real quick. Yeah, this, I was predicting something like this was going to happen because the Democrats are scared. They know that Black people are not coming out to vote, and we're telling. But see, the problem is they've already shown us they hate us. They're offering any other group, they're offering them all kind of benefits except for us. And like someone said about the study, there are so many damn books that have been written on slavery and the aftermath of slavery. That is their study, and they know it. There isn't any reason. They know that we have been harmed, and they know that no other Black people in the world are entitled, no other people in the world are entitled to those resources except for Black people who are the descendants of the people enslaved in this country. Because nobody wants to hear anything when people talk about Farrakhan and this, that, and whatever. They are they are justified in having resources that just for them. It is us that everybody all of a sudden everybody want to be Black. And these people, and the people like, you got these high profile people. I know I'm kind of rambling here for a minute, please forgive me. But you got these people like Steve Harvey going around here saying stuff. How are you going to ask for something if you don't vote? Well, hell, we've already asked for something and people did vote, and they looked the other way. This there's a reason why Jim Crow Joe keeps saying, what about the Indians? The Indians are not a concern for me. They've gotten reparation numerous times. I'm concerned about Black America, and that's it. But see, they know that we've moved away from, us fighting for everybody. They know that we no longer identify ourselves as a minority because that doesn't benefit us. It benefits everybody else. We all saw what that platinum check was for Donald Trump. So they know we're not rocking with that anymore. They're trying to figure out a way, and they think that, I guess Brandon Johnson thought that, well, if I throw reparations out there, maybe that'll get them in line, and they'll come and vote for the Democrats, and they may not ticket the convention that's going to be in Chicago in August. And I will predict that more than likely they're going to have the protest people like probably about a block away or something, because they do not want Black people to be seen protesting. They want it to look as normal as possible, and that's not going to happen, because I know there's probably going to be some folks who's going to go out there whether they get arrested or not. But I just want to say that, and just let everybody know that we see through their lives, and they got all kind of people out there trying to sway us that we should come out and vote. Oh, they said Donald Trump went to this Black church and he did that. I don't care what Donald Trump did. What are you offering us, Black Americans, for our pain and suffering and our land?
All right. Thank you, Original. I see we got Mimi requesting to come up here. Oh, boy.
Yeah, the biggest troll in space.
Oh, boy.
But I was going to say something
Who put Mimi up here as a speaker? Oh, Lord. Mimi, okay, she disconnecting. Please let Mimi stay down in the listener section. Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah. Hey, you always know when she's coming because she got that smug fed profile. So you always know when she's coming. But I'm just going to say, family, and peace, power, reparations, we're going to get it real soon, too. We're getting very close to it. But all I'm going to say to Brandon Johnson, he is a liar. He is a con artist. He's just playing with our feelings. And we don't need to listen to nothing he have to say because he's playing the Democratic game, which is let's see what we can do to try to tie them over so we can at least get these Black votes. And that way we can try to win this election, this 2024 election. That's all this is, y'all. We don't need any more of these studies. You don't have to do a study. We know slavery was here in the United States of America. We know how it has impacted our families. We know all of the history of this country, what it has done to Black Americans. It's time out for all the studies, and Brandon Johnson knows this. So he's a joke. He's not doing anything to try to help us. He's just trying to find a way to try to tie us over, to hopefully get our votes, and then he'll go right back to trying to cater to the immigrants. So I hope the family is not buying into it, which I don't believe any of us are. I'm going to land right there.
All right. Grimes, you got it. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. I put it in the purple pill. Someone mentioned earlier about Biden playing this game where he wants to bring up the Native Americans.
That's like y'all broke that little nigga.
Smurf chick, really?
Hey, I know, right? I brought you up here. I was gonna let you speak. So first off, put your mic on mute, Mimi, or I'm gonna drop you. All right. Go ahead, Grind.
Yes, I put that in the purple pill because I have a few different instances. So when people try to act like the Democrats are, really meaningfully trying to give us reparations, they're not, because either they'll play dumb, act like they don't know what it is. They'll say, and then the next month they'll say it's divisive. Shout out to Bernie Sanders for that. You got Kamala said, I ain't gonna do anything for Black people specifically. No, and then when a brother. A Black reporter asked Joe Biden about reparations, for numbers thrown out there, what you consider. And he said only, it depends on whether or not Native Americans are considered for it as well, when they've already got broken up. What we're talking about, they got all kind of money, tangibles, with land as well, different things. So stop playing these games,
Real talk. I'm gonna let Mimi come up here for a second and hear what she's got to say real quick. Well, Mimi, every time we bring you up here, you keep dropping down, so it must mean that your phone is having some issues. Yeah, Mimi, we see you up here. What's going on?
Sexy Ray, what you got up under that little mask of a cloth? You selling pussy?
All right. We tried to let you come up here for a second. I don't know if you're a crackhead, Mimi, or what it is. I don't know if
Nobody want that.
no, I mean I don't know what it is. We tried, I tried to let you come up here and speak. It's been a couple times I've tried, but that's your one turn. No.
This episode of Mimi has been brought to you in part by E&J.
E&J. This that hard, that Mimi on that hard. That's what that is. That's that hard. That's that rocked up stuff. So Mimi, no, we don't have time to play with you. So we'll holler at you another time, Mimi. But anyways, DJ, I see Black Majority State down there. I see what's up, Val. I see you down there. Alyssa down there. I see Rella down there. So I see a bunch of our people down there. If you guys want to come up here and speak, by all means, request a microphone. But no, Mimi, we not doing it. We don't want to hear. We don't want to hear that mouth like a sewer. So you go ahead and you sit down, and maybe get you a little bit of help or whatever, sister. And that's no joking matter. But go ahead and get you a little bit of help, and we'll holler back at you.
Get some coffee.
But yeah, Brandon Johnson, and I think this is now. I think the Democrats kind of see. I saw a poll today on CBS Evening News, and they had Donald Trump, and they had in the key battleground states, they had Donald Trump, and they had Joe Biden basically deadlock. And I think Democrats right now are saying that, hey, this is going to be a razor thin election. But what's one thing that's moved the black voters, because they see that black people are not enthusiastic about the actual upcoming election. And there was actually an article, and I meant to tweet it out earlier today, the article on Newstoter, and it said, that black people basically are not enthusiastic for voting for Joe Biden, but even less so for Donald Trump. I don't think most black people, when it comes to election time, are too keen on voting for either one of these guys. I think you'll have some people just out of habit, they're going to vote Democrat. I think you'll have some people that's going to vote for Donald Trump to kind of stir it up, and I think you have some people that's going to stay home as well too. But as a matter of fact, I was having they showed Obama up there. They showed Obama, and because I guess they was using Obama to kind of how to as a surrogate to kind of pump things up or whatever. And me and my dad was watching it, and my dad was and I was like, yeah, I said, here they come, they bringing Obama. He was like, well, of course my dad's a baby boomer and he loved Obama. I said, well, if Obama was running, nobody could beat him. I said, well, if Obama was running, Dad, he wouldn't get the same kind of love and the same kind of turnout from black people that he got in those previous elections. He's like, well, he may not get 90% of votes, but he would still be up there. I'm like, I think he lost a little bit of steam as well too. I got my girl Rella coming up here. So Rella, what's up? What do you think about this whole thing with Brandon Johnson launching the task force in Chicago with the reparations and everything? What's your view on that, Rella?
Hey, Newstoter.
What's up, Rella?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty. What's up?
What's up, sister? I told you to wait 30 to 45 minutes before you came back in another space. Remember, 30 to 45 minutes.
Who's listening? Ain't nobody listening to you. Hey, Original. Shout out to the space, to the family, except for Mimi. So I want to focus everybody's, thought process, not just on the presidential race. So I know a lot of people always talk about the presidential race, but definitely in the primary, there is a lot of seats for governor. There are people, senators. There are things that are outside of just the president that we need to be looking at when it comes to these states, because governor holds a lot of power, a lot of other positions that are up comptroller and things like that the governor can put into power that can harm us too. And I think we should definitely be need to know the names of these people, not just Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We need to know their names because the parties that are in play right now that have power in the states, when you look at their overall representatives, they're making decisions that actually impact Black Americans' daily lives. Trump and Biden are not in those factors yet. Biden administration is, yes. And then you have to also look at who runs the House and the Senate and what representatives from the state are actually committing harms that actually affect us in our daily lives. And so we need to really know the names of those people, and we need to be invoking that information into spaces and having conversations so that we can sound the alarm on who we need to put out and, you know, who we need to put up and who we need to be targeting in the conversation around representatives who want to pass bills that go against reparations. There are a few legislators that actually want to pass or have passed bills to block states from actually having reparations. And I know people are tired of commissions because other groups are able to get representation and get money passed down to them. But I want to tell you this: other groups do not have the intricate and the historical record that we have. And if money was to be given out by executive order or by Congress at any capacity or in your state, you want to make sure people are identified, because we are not all Black. And we have identified the fact that lineage-based reparations has to be the name of the game. And if that information is not already on the books in certain particular states, local government, as well as townships, we want to make sure that language is put into the lexicon for our for law and for our representation. And if we don't have people speaking that language, we're going to need time to do that. I would not want any and everybody to get reparations just because we want people who are in office right now to drop the hammer to just give us money right now. We got to be keen, laser focused when it comes to our language, representation, and the representatives that are currently hold the keys to the purse, and the ones that are also making it hard for us. So I'll land there. Oh, with the Brandon Johnson situation, I don't trust him. I never have. Oh, and don't fall for the Trojan horse, because that was a kid's dad. Oh.
You sound like you're in the Matrix.
Oh, no. It's probably because I'm driving, so I hope y'all can hear me. But at the end of the day, I don't trust him. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I would love to hear if Mark and his team down in Chicago and what they are doing to apply pressure to figure out what it is that he's trying to play. Because I think for the mere simple fact that Chicago, they're flipping red and they're tired of him, he now is trying to pander. So by telling you or having someone tell you that they'll give you reparations or they're going to do a commission and they haven't put no skin in the game, they have nothing to let you know that they're serious about our harms, tells me a lot. So when you look at the people around Brandon Johnson and the other representatives in the city of Chicago or in the state of Illinois, that will let you know how many people would have to vote to even get a commission started and if they're having the conversation. So make sure you pay attention to that and focus on who is the representatives. Again, Brandon Johnson's not the only one. So you want to make sure that you are putting you want to tag everybody that you can that could actually harm people in Illinois that would benefit from reparations, and figure out whether or not there needs to be alarms set for them to get out, people to put them out. And a lot of it's going to come down to grassroots, on the groundwork. I said this all the time. The hardest thing to do is to get on the grassroots in real time and talk to people outside of spaces. So we gotta really, really hone in on that. But I'll end there.
All right, thank you, Miss Rella. Thank you, and thank you for the Father's Day shout out yesterday as well too. So shout out to you, Rella. Brandon Johnson. Like I said, I just think this is really. I think it's a ploy by Democrats at this point in time because they feel like they're losing a little bit of momentum. They're worried about the election. I think now it's to the point now people are just starting to throw reparations out there and see what'll stick. They're doing it in some of these cities, these Democrat-ran cities. I don't think that a lot of these people in the Democratic Party have any interest in seeing reparations actually take place, but they think that there's something that's going to keep Black people's attention, and they're willing to go ahead and use that as a ploy to go ahead and try to keep Black people voting Democrat. I really, really don't believe it because, like I say, when Brandon Johnson was running for mayor, and that little what was his agenda, his platform. He started out talking about race relations and Black people and Latinos and everything. From everything he said was pretty much about Latinos and illegals and everything else. Now all of a sudden he's had a change of heart, like the old Dayton game show, and he wants to go ahead and he wants to talk about how rewriting this and everything in Chicago's past, from slavery to Jim Crow and this and that or whatever. You didn't say any of that when you ran for mayor. You didn't say any of that whatsoever. And your actions since you've been mayor hasn't showed anything resembling that you really interested in trying to help Black people in that city as well too. So I just think this is I think people saying, well, you know what, tell them what they want to hear. I think it's starting to get to that point where a lot of the people in the Democratic Party, like, well, the Republicans, they're not going to tell them this at all, but at least let's dangle this carrot in front of them. They'll at least believe that we're sincere, and then they'll go back and we'll do like we always do after election time, and we'll just change and go to something totally different. So I think this is something that as a people that we really, really need to keep an eye on. Chicago's been getting after it too. Chicago, more than any other major city in America that has a big Black population, they have been getting after it. While everybody else has kind of been sitting around looking and stuff like that, Chicago's letting their feelings known about immigration and everything else, illegals coming up there. They're getting into it while all these other major cities sitting up here, and there's still this whole kumbaya type moment. So they're getting after it. I'll be interested to see, like Rella said, the people like Arthur and Mark, the people that actually live in there. Because I'm surprised that Mark actually didn't pop up, because Mark was actually the article today, the actual space he retweeted out, and he also said that they're not falling. He left a comment on the actual article or the actual space itself, saying that we're not falling for these Democratic ploys and stuff like that as well too. So Chicago, more so than any other city, really, they're starting to really show their teeth. They're really starting to snap back and bite back. But I can't see that in so many of these other places now. They're sitting up, and real, I get what you're saying too with the actual reparation studies and everything else as well to the panels. But I have a hard time, like when they actually do you know for a fact, real or not, when they actually gave the money to the actual to the survivors of the Japanese internment, did they have to set up a panel and a study and all that, or did they just go ahead and simply just put it in effect and go ahead and start paying people? See, I'd be interested to know that, like when it comes to Black people, and I get what you're saying, but how much studying do you really need to know about, especially let's be for real, especially when we're talking about Jim Crow, slavery. Okay, that was 1865 when it ended. Damn, Jim Crow just ended, in 1965. So how much real studying and prepping and research and all this stuff you got to do? My parents were born in Jim Crow. My grandma, great grandma, the vast majority of my aunts and uncles, cousins, older cousins and stuff like that, people we grew up, teachers and everything else, they were born in Jim Crow. How much actual research and studying and all this other kind of stuff do you really need when it's right there? You can sit up here and you can tell me how old the universe is. You can estimate how old the planet is. You can come with all of this stuff right here, carbon date and this and that or whatever. You got records of what went down in Jim Crow. You got records what went down in damn slavery. So why do we have to constantly keep playing this? Well, it's a stall tactic. Because if you did have to research, if you did have to actually do some real research and dig and set up stuff, it wouldn't take you long to come up with it. It wouldn't take you long at all. Like I said, there are people, everybody in this space has a relative, and some of us may even have some elders in here that was actually born in Jim Crow. So, I mean, to sit up here and act like, well, we got to do this and we got to do that. Yeah, you're going to sit up here and you're going to tell me how old the ocean is and how long alligators been on the planet and this and that. And you can date back all these ancient civilizations. And you can talk about who was the king and the queen and all this other kind of stuff. You can do all of this right there. But something that